I don't know whether you are familiar with the law of attraction, but I'm sure you are. It's been going around. You hear it in podcasts and see it on TV being mentioned by personalities. It's everywhere. It started with some of the Eastern philosophies in China, India, and Thailand, places like those. And in the process, they conquered the erudite thinking of the whole Western thought. Because now you hear that from everyday people. I mean, more than you would hear form or matter or syllogisms or potency in act or actus essendi. Anyways, what it means for me is that the modern man realizes that everything you blow into the universe gets back to you in another form, whenever. It always comes back no matter what. People call it karma, law of attraction, law of universals, etc. But in the end, it only tells you that there is the principle of unity, of the one in the universe. You must reap what you sow. You attract negative things into your life by being negative yourself. And when you blow in good things, optimistic things, they all come back to you. Do good, and not because you want to be done good, but simply because everything is part of the one. In the concept of the eternal of the present moment, there is no confusion about who you are and who the other person is. If you do it to the other, you do it to yourself. Of course, if you're a Christian, you would have an additional insight on this. Jesus said this same fact or this same idea during his time. He said this almost esoterically, but now it is dismissed as a cliche. He said, whatever you do to the least of my brothers, you did it to me. He did not say, don't do unto others what you would not have others do unto you. Right? It's not a negative philosophy, it's a positive philosophy. What we did not understand is that his words is possible because he is one with the Father and one with us. Indeed, in the law of attraction, ultimately, we are one. We are all one and the same. Whatever we do to another, we do not only do to him or to her, but to ourselves. If we say bad things to other people, we are actually saying it to ourselves. Hence, it comes back to us. Law of attraction says, do good to everybody, do good to yourself. That's it. As Gandhi said, my life is my message. For me, I think this is one of the most beautiful phrases that I've read in my entire life. You know, as soon as we learn how to speak, as soon as we learn how to interact or communicate with other people, we express ourselves, we communicate ourselves to another person, and everything that we do is some sort of exploring who we are and leaving a stamp of our own to everybody whom we interact day after day after day, right? Sometimes there are people, and I think we all fall to this kind of idea or predicament. Sometimes the way we speak is not the way we feel deep inside, as the famous song says, why do I smile when I'd rather hit you or punch you in the eye or kick you in the eye, right? Sometimes we do that. Sometimes we feel not genuine in our feelings because what we say is not really what we meant. That's why in all the exchanges of messages with people, in all the exchanges of our, how we feel to other people, sometimes we get lost ourselves, our being, our essence, get lost in the confusion of the kind of message that we are sending out to all the world. I mean, to the universe, for that matter. It's not just to any other person, but to the whole universe. That is why what Gandhi says here is really important and I think deep, in the sense that no, you don't pay attention to the little words that I say here and there. Everything that I have lived so far, that is the message. That is my message. It tells you that you cannot summarize a person with just little words or expressions that you see of that person. Rather, you see him or her as a whole person. And on the other hand, if you are faking everything that you're saying, it doesn't add up to the message, because you might be good to some people, but then in the whole, summation of things, you are not that good. Then your life, your message is a messed up kind of message. So it's like a reflection on our part. I mean, let's stop looking at other people, but look at ourselves and find that understanding to ourselves. If there's anything that we need to change, if there's anything that we need to improve to ourselves, then make that the reflection point of the day. My life is my message. All others, they're just beating on the wind. I don't know if you've heard about Napoleon Hill and the expression 3 feet from gold. I started reading Napoleon Hill when I was in first year college in UST. As a young person, whenever I would save a part of my allowance, especially if it's already a Saturday and it's the end of the week, of course, except when I have training in ROTC on a Sunday. But usually, when at the end of the week, and I have extra money that I know that I will not need for the week, what I will do is to look for books that I can buy. I mean, that's how nerdy I am. And in the cooperative canteen, of course, this was the time when UST is not yet the UST mall that you can see now. This is the simple UST of 1990s. So I was there, and I saw this book, Think and Grow Rich. As a 16-year-old guy, fresh out of high school, I saw that book and said, hey, I think I can grow rich by thinking big or something like that. And it kind of impressed upon me a lot of things: being positive, having that kind of attitude, the can-do attitude, etc. The stuff that we talk about in The Secret, the Law of Attraction, those stuff. And I think whenever I hear a person, for example, speaking the positive, the motivators of the day, the positive encourager, the people who are speaking sense whenever they talk in front the stage or something, I always know that this guy, maybe he read the same books that I did. And one of the books, of course, is Napoleon Hill, and many books about thinking positively and Think and Grow Rich is one of them. And 3 feet from gold is an expression. I think it was Mr. Darby, or maybe I'm forgetting the name of the person. But in the story, he said that there's a story of a guy who in the California gold rush bought the land because he knew that this land is going, he could turn up gold from it. So he spent a lot of money there. Cut the long story short, he almost went broke, and to the point of being broke, he already dug everything with his equipment, heavy equipment. Of course, he has not dug everything in the land, the piece of land, but he stopped because he is already going under. He doesn't have any money left anymore, and so he sold everything, the land, he sold everything, and the equipment, and just to break even and all that. And the guy who bought the land was some sort of a geodetic engineer or something like that. He planned the digging so that he would spend only a minimal amount of money, instead of digging aimlessly and all that. So he planned the digging, and true enough, where Mr. Darby stopped, he found the gold. The person who saw who bought the land found the gold, or I don't know if it was gold or oil or whatever it is, but he found a what Mr. Darby should have found 3 feet away from where he stopped digging. So I think Zig Ziglar always talks about that as well. It's about never stopping, and don't stop, because you might be stopping 3 feet away from gold, right? So never give up. Always push ahead, day after day, or transaction after transaction. And the story, I think Napoleon Hill said that the guy, Mr. Darby, learned the great life's lesson on that, and he applied that in being an insurance salesman or something like that, wherein every time he would go to a client and the client says no, he would always come back and come back and come back. And he found out that people who say no, they don't say no all the time. I mean, all throughout. People who said no, about 90% of them will say yes on the fourth time you tell them, you approach them, and certain percentage will say yes in the sixth time, or the seventh time, and the eighth time. And he found out that only 10% of the people will say no all throughout. Maybe, I don't know whether that still is true today, or whether it's empirically true, but I think the lesson there is quite clear. The lesson there is that never ever stop trying. Just push ahead, and have that bulldog tenacity. Napoleon Hill mentioned that alongside the story of I don't know if it was Thomas Edison or something like that, but bulldog tenacity of going at it, because he knows that he believes in his goal. He has a burning desire towards that goal, and that goal will always happen. That goal will always come true. Maybe not the way you envision it, 100% of the time, but it will happen sometimes even better than you have imagined. Right? So never ever give up, never ever stop, 3 feet away from gold.